divisive politics. Well, the declaration was not without some controversy. Rose Viver has accused the police of aiding attacks on his supporters in Lagos during a Lagos event over the weekend, alleging that hoodlums disrupted the rally while law enforcement looked the other way. The development has already sparked heated debate about the state of Nigeria's democracy, the freedom of political expression, and the elite ability of the opposition to campaign without intimidation.
And withdraw our security and allow dogs and aided them. You spoke with them, you said everybody there. But he was there. This country is
no fear of God. People are going to sleep this night. They are going to sleep well this night. You are helping them destroy this our country. Whatever we are fighting for is for you. It's for you. We want a better life for you. What are we doing here? Is it not just to meet and gather in a church? Are we going to destroy the church? Eh? No fear of God.
And withdraw our security.
Mr. Gbadebo Rose Viver, the former Labour Party governorship candidate, now in the ADC, is live for us on the program. He joins us virtually from Lagos. Thank you so much, Mr. Rose Viver, for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me, Sean?
Yeah, good. I can hear you. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we will put context into that video that we saw earlier. But let me ask you, why dump the Labour Party?
I will not say I dumped the Labour Party. Currently, there are two groups in the Labour Party, as you know. One of them is pro-coalition, right? And I've said this constantly, even on your show, as far back as a year now, saying that any opposition that is serious in this country with the kind of bureaucracy that is currently going on needs to come together. A coalition is the only way that we can stand a chance in another election in this country. And I've said this consistently over a period of time. So the idea is to build a broad-based coalition, unite all political parties, all people in opposition to face the ruling party. So we have joined the coalition. The ADC is the party that the coalition has adopted, and the group of Labour Party to which I align are pro-coalition as well.
So you are no longer in the Labour Party, because there are those who say they are in the Labour Party, but they are part of the coalition. But your own case is different. You've said your goodbyes.
I have formally joined the party of the coalition, yes.
So officially, we can no longer refer to you as a member of the Labour Party. You are now in the ADC officially.
Certainly, if you choose to, yes. But okay. Like I said, it's a coalition, so everybody who has to go and come and join us is okay.
And so to get some clarity, you are likely to contest for governor again on the platform, this time on the platform of the ADC. Is that right?
By God's grace.
Okay. Let me ask you, you have framed this move of yours as part of a broader coalition to challenge the APC in 2027. Can you outline how this coalition is different from past opposition alliances in Nigeria, many of which have now struggled with internal divisions?
So, you see, these broader philosophical ideas are interesting to talk about. Well, you see, I feel that there's an elephant in the room that we are not addressing, right? We can philosophize on our politics all we want, but there's a situation where all across Nigeria, opposition parties are trying to gather and have meetings, and they are being met with violence. From Kaduna to Gombe to Lagos, what happened yesterday, right? If we want to talk about big ideas in politics, and you find that the federal government and the state government seemingly are trying to create a one-party state. If Nigerians do not resist that, and political actors do not come together to resist that, then what is the conversation about any bigger ideal in our politics? What is the guarantee that there will even be an election at this rate?
And you don't bother about the possibility. You know your history in Lagos politics. You were in the PDP. You left. You have now left the Labour Party.
I was in the COA party.
Yeah, you were in COA.
Let's start from there.
Yeah. You were in COA.
I ran for local government chairman. Yeah. Yes, I ran for local government chairman. I joined the PDP. I ran for Senate. I put up a run for governor. You know the conditions that led me to defect, to leave the PDP. I ran under the Labour Party for governorship, and I've joined the coalition now in the ADC.
So that's a question I'm asking. Whether all of these divisions in the how is the ADC that you have joined different?
Different from?
I mean, you move from COA to PDP especially, there was a lot of drama with you and the PDP before moving into the Labour Party. You've seen the division in the Labour Party. You have now moved into the ADC. So the question is that a lot of your supporters who are watching tonight will be wondering, okay, what do we expect right now? Why do we believe, or why should we believe the ADC and all of these divisions? That's the question here.
I see where your question is coming from now. The ADC, joining the coalition is a very practical step. It's a very practical step. For me, as a politician in Lagos State, having experienced what I did in 2023, and the need to form a broader coalition, the ADC currently is a party that is one of the most stable in relation to opposition politics. It's one of the parties that is bringing a lot of people together, so giving us more strength, giving us more network, giving us the capacity to penetrate the grassroots even more. And it's a party that I believe will be able to make a major difference with the way we are moving and the way that we are building our structures all the way down to the wards and the polling units. On the other hand, you look at the current situation on the Labour Party. The Supreme Court has given a ruling for an early part of this year now. Up until now, INEC is yet to interpret that ruling. INEC has not made a stand on who is in charge of the party. And with that, every time there is a need or a decision for a parties need to organize their congresses. Parties need to start preparing for their primaries, all between now, September, and March, April, right? So we don't have time. We need a party that's going to be ready to do the work, which is building a robust structure all the way down to the ward level with stability and a platform that can allow this work to be done without any distraction. So that's the very practical reason why we joined the ADC.
So did you inform Mr. Peter Obi of your movement?
Certainly. Certainly.
So are you
a representative of his was at the declaration yesterday. Channels was there. I don't know if you've seen the video.
Yeah, I did. So are you in alignment with him, or is he in alignment with you? It does look like you're moving in the areas he's moving. It does look like you align along with his politics.
His Excellency and I are communicating. We are aligned. There's no step that's being taken that he's not aware of. And again, like I said, we have all agreed that the only way to have a successful election for us in the opposition is a coalition, where regardless of where anybody is at this point in time, we have all come to that agreement and we are all working towards that aim.
So you got Peter Obi's approval to join the ADC?
Yes.
Fabulous. Give me your view about those who think that Tinubu is Lagos, Lagos is Tinubu as far as politics is concerned. And that those who have said to you, you can only become governor of Lagos State, GRV, if you join the Tinubu politics. Do you see yourself one day aligning with the Tinubu politics in Lagos?
No, I don't. I'd rather go and focus on my business, on my work, on my family. That would be a complete waste of time. The reason why we're in politics is to make the lives of Lagosians better. It's to restore Lagos to its old glory. Glory that a lot of people might not really be familiar with in terms of the history of Lagos and the greatness that Lagos once was. Any party or any platform that does not allow me to maximize the commonwealth of Lagos for the benefit of its people is a complete waste of time. And as you have highlighted, I've moved from COA party to the PDP, to Labour Party, now to the ADC. And you never hear that there was once a dalliance with the AD or APC in any way, shape or form. And that's its consistency in my short political career, starting from 2016. Because I am convicted that Lagos will be so much better and will breathe a breath of fresh air if the domination of this, what has become a bureaucracy, is removed from the neck of Lagos State. This thuggery where politicians believe that they don't have to serve the people. Instead, they will rely on violence to suppress and intimidate the people. And that is something that does not align with me in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, is this realization easy for you? Those who think that the new Lagos is built on the backs and the effort, the sweat of Bola Tinubu. And when some of you talk like this, the people in the APC will begin to wonder, have you forgotten how Lagos was and how Lagos is now? And the dramatic development they will claim has come to Lagos, especially in the recent years under Babajide Sanwo-Olu. There are those who will say there are tremendous development that has happened in these years.
You see, it's very unfortunate again because a lot of people don't know Lagos history. Bola Ahmed Tinubu and most of these people, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and most of these people grew up in Lagos where they opened the tap and water was coming out. Can they do that now without boreholes? We're surrounded by water. They grew up in Lagos where they could send their children to public schools and they'll get quality education. Can they do that now? They grew up in Lagos where there was affordable housing. That is thanks to Alhaji Lateef Jakonde. People got access to affordable housing. Have you seen the level of how expensive accommodation is in Lagos State today? Do you realize how difficult it is for people to afford where to live? They grew up in a Lagos where the quality of healthcare, right? The quality of healthcare was epic. And the issue that I find is a lot of people that try to define what politics is today. And I think there's been a lot of good propaganda work that has happened because people have quickly forgotten that Lagos was the crucible in which Nigeria was built. A lot of Nigerian history was formed in Lagos. On the streets of Isaleko that have been completely destroyed, and I go and look at it now, looking like a ghetto. There was an area of Victorian Lagos. As far back as 1910, we had water being pumped. People were paying water rates. So when people say this, I think, you see, it's a very big problem because people, they have a very short understanding, the span of their understanding of Lagos is very, very limited, right? And then you now look at when they talk about the so-called developments of Lagos. Look at all the IGR that they have raised, but look at all the debt that Lagos is in. And then you realize that even this development that you're talking about is mainly pushed by the private sector. Private individuals from all over Nigeria are developing estates, businesses, thriving in spite of the government. So I don't, I guess I'm carrying Lagos history that will be passed down. So my perspective on Lagos and its history is much wider, it's much further. So I cannot agree with anybody that will say anything like that. Lagos is where we get our pedigree from. Bola met Tinubu. When he came into Lagos, he met a Lagos that was thriving. What happened after the military and all of that? Yes, there might have been decline, but you cannot take away from the history of the greatness that Lagos was.
But tell me, GRV, do you, in your real analysis of the politics of Lagos, think that you can displace Bola Tinubu politics and the Bola Tinubu structure of politics in Lagos? Many have tried, but they have failed. Do you have a new strategy? Do you have new ideas? Do you have new agenda that is better for the people of Lagos? And that those who remember to say, perhaps you are one of those who preach the agenda of Lagos is for all, Lagos is for no one.
I don't believe that Lagos belongs to one man. That's why my entire movement is called Our Lagos. Lagos is our shared responsibility. Lagos is our home. And the idea that Lagos belongs to one man is something that I'm completely against. The idea that our Commonwealth can be commandeered by one man for over 2 decades is something that I'm against. And I feel that it's not about me. It's not about Gbadebo. It's about the people of Lagos. It's about the people of Nigeria. For how long? I mean, look at the situation that we have today. You have local government chairmen going on inner roads that are terrible, absolutely terrible in this Lagos, in Alimosho, with policemen to prevent an opposition party from having a gathering on Lionfield in Alimosho. Well, look at the state of the roads, all those inner roads. They do not focus on doing that. They do not focus after 20 years of making such a difference to the government that any opposition that will come up will just be seen as people wasting their time. Not because of violence or intimidation, but because of the quality of good governance that they have given the people. If they are giving people good quality governance, they will not be bothered by opposition. They will not be resorting to using violence and intimidation, right? So, like I say, and I said earlier today, violence is the last refuge of incompetence. Anything solid, they've not lifted the lives of people up to be able to use that to campaign, or instead rely on violence. That in itself says everything.
So, before I allow you to speak to what happened, the narrative that was created in Lagos, there are those who are offended on one part and those who feel anyone from nowhere can come to Lagos and Lagos belongs to everybody. There are those who say they are indigenes, they are aborigines of Lagos who feel that their land is being taken over and don't agree with that narrative. Feel that their land is being taken over and don't agree with that narrative. And there are those who believe that you are to blame because you are brought up that narrative. Oh, married to an Igbo woman, Lagos, the non-indigens should come around and all of that. And there are those who are offended. How do you maneuver those kind of tendencies?
So, first of all, maybe it's a network issue. I did not fully hear your question, but I think you're referring to indigene rights versus the idea of Lagos being a cosmopolitan city. And I don't think it's one or the other. I think the helm of affairs should be the citizens, the indigenes of Lagos have no other place to call home. You never find a Dosumugu and be governor in Ogun State. You never find I don't know, an Anima Shaun go and be governor or even local government chairman in Oshogbo. So let us be fair to the indigenes of Lagos, and that is one. Another reality is Lagos State has been cosmopolitan since the 1700s. Look at Ushodi. That family is from Nupe. Our royal family is Benin, right? And they've come together to create an identity. They fought for freedom in this place. That struggle created an identity of people. That is a reality that you cannot wish away. And the fact is, Lagos' success, the fact that there is so much wealth in Lagos, is related to the ideology of the indigenes of Lagos, which is something that accommodates people to do business. That is our history. It did not start with me.
So no regrets that you pushed that narrative.
What narrative did I push? I never pushed. What narrative did I push? As far back as in the 70s, Mobolaji Johnson was the one that had on national dailies that Lagos is not a no man's land. Lagos is not a no man's land, right? There are indigenes here, and they feel marginalized. I mean, Renaissance pictures have been talking about this for so long. General Laiwaju, even Femi Okunu, I can name names that consistently spoke about this, right? So people trying to deflect instead of talking about the issues that concern people. The fact that today, as of today, Lagos State has spent over 65 billion between 2023 and 2025 on buying cars for its lawmakers, right? 30 billion they are budgeting for this in this 2025 to do new fence access and beautification. Meanwhile, there are so many schools that are dilapidated. Hospitals, you are not getting quality healthcare from. Our taps, you have to have borehole in your house to get water, right? These are issues that affect Lagosians. These are issues that matter. The cost of living, these are issues that matter. Or rather, they want to use this distraction and this deflection so we continue to bicker about tribe, who owns Lagos, who is the indigene, who is the non-indigene. Issues that don't affect whether you can send your children to school, whether you can eat, the quality of your life. It doesn't affect it at all. It is just a distraction. And they create these narratives. That is all it is. You see that as we are going to the election, you start to see various fake accounts come up, start making claims that these non-indigenes say they own this, these people say they own that. You look at even Jimmy Agbaji's campaign, they called him Jimmy Chukwu, governor of the Easterners. Anybody that comes up against this hegemony, right? This is their tactic. Their tactic is a bigoted one. That's what they do, right? But I'm trying to bring this back to issues that matter to Lagosian and Nigerian for years after the election.
Now, on a final note, you felt attacked, you and your supporters, and you have accused the police and the APC and the ruling party in Lagos State of being behind it, and you've called it an intimidation of the opposition. Can you speak to that video we saw? Are you on the right side of the law? What exactly really happened?
Okay, so in summary, we had booked a field. It's called the Lion Field in Alimosho. We had booked it, we had paid for it. We notified the police because we are not supposed to get permission from police to gather. That's our constitutional right. We notified them and tell them that we are going to do something here. And they accepted. We got a verbal confirmation. On Thursday, we got another verbal communication that the CP, Commissioner of Police, said that we cannot have our event there. That same Thursday night, we have videos. Local government chairmen in company of between 60 to 80 armed men went to the field with a Black Maria, several Hilux buses, and occupied that field. I was there on Friday. I spoke with the police, the commander of the police that was there. I looked around, made an assessment of the situation, and I made a video to talk about it. It's on my social media. The commander told me that the CP, this commissioner of police, said I should come and see him immediately. I left directly to GRV. I called the CP, he did not respond. I sent him a text, he did not respond. I waited for 2 hours and I left. In order to avoid any altercation, we then made 4 different plans. A plan for 2 halls, one of which was where we did the affirmation. Channels was there, so I'm sure you can have access to that video as well. And then the other one for my people to gather in a church. Now, bear in mind, That Lion Field that I paid for, the APC did their own program and rally there while they were protected by the police. Right? This is a fact. Channels can confirm it. Your people can confirm it. Now, my field that was in a church that my people had started going to and started gathering, the police came there. We have videos as well. Gate open. They first asked the question. They stopped. The thugs came in and the police were behind them. Again, we have pictures and video documentary evidence of this as well. A lot of damage was done. My own blood sister had to go to hospital to get stitched in the head. My aide was hit. And people that were supposed to benefit from a health outreach, right? Because my sister is director of the RV Foundation, especially the health branch, were hurt, were chased, were intimidated. And when I came, because when I heard about it, I came there, the police had sealed the whole place off and said that I could not go in. After all of that, that is what happened. Channels was there, your cameraman was there, he saw all of this. So, I mean, you can also look at that, and maybe Channels can do a documentary on everything that happened and play both sides. So see who's
Are you willing to take this up officially?
Take this up with who, Shem?
So you are helpless, is that what you're saying?
Helpless? Helpless? I'm anything but. You see, what this country is doing, and it's unfortunate because what this country is doing, and it's unfortunate because one party and the ambition of one man or a group of people that believe that they don't have to do their work and uplift the lives of the Nigerian. Instead, they'll use force and brutish behavior coming from NSAS to 2023 elections to this. It's all connected, right? They are not doing the job that they're in office for. Instead, they are using intimidation and violence to hold power for the sake of holding power. Now, you can only continue to do that to a point. And I have to remind these people in office that Nigerians are not cowards. And they should know, because their generation faced the military. You are not going to continue pushing your youth around like this and think you're going to get away with it. So when you ask me, who am I going to talk with? Who am I going to take? Am I going to report to the police? The CP was there at Lion Field. The DCP was in front of the gate at the church. They came and supervised the destruction of over 70 buses. The police supposed to be there to protect lives and property. They were there when all of these things happened. So is it them I'm going to go and report to? They are literally destroying every relevance and respect for our institutions. And at a point where people no longer believe they can get justice, where people no longer believe that that security can be provided for them. Just like how in Nigeria, we believe that we cannot get water from the water corporation. What do? We get our borehole.
Thank you so much. Gbadebo Rose Viver, a former Lagos governorship candidate of the Labour Party who has since moved on to the ADC. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me, Sean.
Thank you. Up next on the program, President Bola Tinubu's claims of a stabilized economy, record revenues, and the harsh realities Nigerians still face. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be back.
GSM cable. Great quality, now with the new look.
Meet Ife, procurement manager and queen of multitasking. She's had her fair share of stress, from sourcing products for crazy prices overseas to logistics madness.
Not anymore with Super App. Hello, the package just arrived. No hassle and on time.
Join millions of businesses on Super App today and be a part of Africa's digital renaissance. Visit superapp.tdafrica.com to get started. TD Africa, empowering you. Hey, Chooks don't do this electronic business day to find supplier we sure no be beans.
Hello? Okay, I don't perform everything for the warehouse. Now to bring the goods come.
This Super App, all they are very fast to.
Chooks, they get everything for him shop on Super App. Original products, better prices, no stress. Join millions of businesses on Super App today and be a part of Africa's digital renaissance. Visit superapp.tdafrica.com to get started. TD Africa, empowering you.
In the heart of Africa's largest economy, a silent transformation is unfolding. At the center of it all is Conga Group, an ecosystem of innovation, commerce, and capability.
Our goal was simple, yet ambitious: to build robust infrastructure that simply connects our customers and our merchants, offering our customers greater variety while creating wealth and new opportunities for our merchants.
Our edge isn't just tech, it's about national execution every day.
Conga Health, where science meets beauty.
We are the engine behind Conga's nationwide delivery power.
We are redefining commerce in Nigeria, connecting millions of buyers and sellers through a secure, trusted, and scalable marketplace.
Conga Corporates serves the needs of corporates, delivered at the right price, at the right time, with peace of mind. Conga Pay, a fintech built on integrity for seamless transactions for merchants and everyone.
Conga Radio and TV, connecting brands to their target audience and markets.
With Conga, what can't you do? Conga Group, the e-commerce group you trust.
Our end-of-year sales is on. Doors are more than entryways, they are guardians. At Swiss Street Doors, we don't just build doors, we make grand entrances. From the timeless elegance to the unmatched strength of our historical doors, our pivot security doors, our exclusive doors, and our Irish galvanized steel doors, to the water resistance of our internal doors, don't miss your chance to save big. Come and enjoy our 50% combo discount offer now. Swiss Street Doors, your door, your pride.
Philomath University is one of the fastest growing private universities in Nigeria, with 100% accreditation in the recent nationwide accreditation of NUC National University Commission across universities in Nigeria. The human resources for the delivery of lectures are excellent, and celebrated professors and doctors with distinction in their various fields. The Chancellor of the university is a man of distinctive character, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, formerly of United Nations and formerly Chief of Staff to President Buhari. The University Council, Michael Faborode, formerly the Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University and formerly the Coordinating Vice Chancellor of the Association of Vice Chancellors of Nigeria. Philomath University have intellectuals, vibrant and brilliant students who have won different laurels amongst their peers in universities in Nigeria. Philomath University student won the first female president of the Association of Law Students of all universities in Nigeria. Philomath University has main campus in Kuje, Abuja and city campus in Maitama, Abuja. Enrollment is on. Don't be left out. Visit www.philomath.edu.ng or call 0912 155 4702 0706 170 0637.
In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodinma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Hello, I'm McLean, your NOAAI digital assistant. Here's what you need to know about the second edition of the National Orientation Agency's National Campus Debate, where ideas sparks change and voices make history. Get ready! A grand prize of 15 million naira awaits the champion. Second place, 30 million naira, and third place, 20 million naira. All accredited public and private universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education have been invited to submit a 3 to 5 minutes pre-recorded video presentation on the topic Unity in Diversity, defining national identity in Nigeria's multicultural society. Shortlisted entries will move on to the state level of the competition, while top performers advance to the zonal rounds and ultimately to the national stage. The grand finale will take place during the week of Nigeria's independence celebration. Venue, State House Banquet Hall, Abuja. Attendance strictly by invitation. Powered by National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Thanks so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's turn our attention to the economy now. President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria's economy has stabilized. He announced that government revenue targets for 2025 were met as early as August, with a promise of no further domestic borrowing. But as inflation bites and hardship deepens, many Nigerians are still asking, stabilized for whom? Let me remind you of what President Bola Tinubu said in that respect about the stabilized economy. This is in his own words.
I can brag that Nigeria is not borrowing, it's dying from local bank. The revenue, we have met our target of revenue for the whole year. We met it in August. I've reviewed this morning. Non-oil.
That's the president talking about a stabilized economy. Joining us to unpack the numbers and the realities and the road ahead is Dr. Paul, Chief Economist at SPM Professionals. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I first shot at you, and I was looking at something earlier, and I said to confirm, to say, looking at the record of my past program and my notes, I'm looking at it, and I see that under Buhari government, before Buhari came into office, inflation rate was at 9%. That's 2015 pre-Buhari administration. In 2021, inflation rate grew to 18.21%. Unemployment rate was still in the single digit.
9.6.
8%.
9.6, thereabout.
Yeah. It was less than 9, actually, before Buhari. By the time Buhari left office, or even before Buhari left office, he stood at 33%. Debt profile grew from 12 trillion to over 30 trillion under Buhari government. Exchange rate went 197 to the dollar before Buhari left, over 400. GDP growth rate, we had 2 recessions under Buhari. He met it at 2% growth rate. But under Buhari, we were in the negative as at 2021, -1, our GDP growth rate. So sometimes the reality we need to confront ourselves with that it is true that Bola Tinubu made a terrible economic indices. Terrible. Everything gone from Jonathan period into Buhari period into the double digits. Almost every of the indices, inflation rate, unemployment rate, food inflation, everything went in that direction. So Tinubu came into a terrible economy. But let me ask you, my first question to you, Dr. announcement months early. He also said citizens still face high food prices, fuel costs, and frequent strikes. From your own analysis, how do we reconcile the government's stabilization claim and the reality Nigerians live every day.
Yeah, thank you so very much for having me. And I want to thank Nigerians, especially watching us across the globe. I know Nigerians anytime they watch this interview. So it's true that 2/3 of the time, which means we still have 1/3 to do so many other things. But we need to be very careful in quoting what the president said. He did not say that we have met our expenditure target. He did not say we have met the whole of our budget target. He said we have met our revenue targets. In that budget, we have revenue and we have debts. The debts expectation is in trillions of naira. So it is not making a claim that we have covered, because if you check, Nigeria is still applying to collect some loans in spite of the announcement. So the announcement is for revenue. Well, my point will be that since we've made our revenue target, we might need to slow down debt. And I tell you for free, we're doing over 140 trillion naira today, and that number may grow to 200 trillion by 2027. So 200 trillion naira, because of course, naira is susceptible to devaluation. Over the years, since the 70s till date, it's always susceptible to devaluation. So we might need to slow down debt, especially when we collect foreign debt. Now, local debt has its own implication, which the president said they've not collected local debt, and that, of course, is healthy for the economy. But so that's fine on one hand. On the second hand, we also need to be wary because of a tendency to devalue the currency, which will now put further burden on the economy. Speaking about stability, when you talk about stability, we need to look at what are macroeconomic variables or macroeconomic indicators. One, we look at inflation. Inflation is around 21%, although it was 34%. We rebased the number to bring it down to about 24%, and we have seen successive reduction in inflation number. We are not yet there. The goalpost for inflation for Nigeria should be 4%, even though central bank says they are comfortable with single digits. To my mind, that will be 6 to 9%, where it was before the inauguration of President Buhari into office. That will be where we should go back to. But as we speak, even on rebased inflation, we're 21%. Next is exchange rate, and this is very important. Exchange rate before, according to what you read today, was about 400. Today, we have it around 1,500, 1,600. I remember one day in August 2023, we were seated this position, but I'm not sure if it was the same jacket that we wore. But you asked me, where do you see exchange rate when it was going to about 800? It was August. And I told you the rest point, based on econometric number, will be 1,500. I saw a manner of comment on the Twitter when your organization posted it. That is not possible, prophet of doom. Today, what is the number? Yes, it went so high, and I will tell you why. It went so high till it got to 1,900 in January 2024, or was it 2024 or 2025? Government was very quick to reveal some of the strategy. Today, what central bank does is manage flows. And you ask me what should be done. I say it's manage flow. Today, government has gone to manage flows, which is why I have advised so many African countries, I've been privileged to speak to their representative, that no African country today is positioned to speak to their representative, that no African country today is positioned to float our currency perpetually. You might want to do it to attract some foreign investment, which we saw, although 92% of those inflows went to portfolio investment, and that accounts for 92% of what we have gotten, according to the report that we saw as a Q1 2025. So the foreign direct investment there is still very low. It's even less than $1 billion. But what we've gotten up to $5 billion, it's hot money, as we call it in finance, it's portfolio investment. Why is it hot? Because if anything happens and there's relative instability in the financial sector, or inflation goes back to what it used to be, or there any concern, investors, because it's hot money, they may just turning back the investor and decide to leave the country.
Right. I'll pause you for a moment, and I'll ask you, because Dr. Alaje, you're not on our sister program, Business Morning and the rest, where there are those who are interested in the numbers. My viewers are interested in the politics of the numbers. And I'd like to ask you direct questions. The first one, when the president says, look, the economy has stabilized, I look at it in a very plain manner that will affect the bottom line of the average Nigerian, about the food on their table. Is the economy stabilized to the point that purchasing power of Nigeria is stabilized. Okay. Is that a fact?
So, two things there.
Yeah.
What the president said, to me as an economist, is different from what you are saying. You are talking of inclusion. You are talking of growth reflecting in inclusion and in reflecting in people income distribution.
That's what my viewers are interested in.
Yes. If that is
if
what
the economy
saying,
of their pocket and the food on their table is not stabilized.
So if that is what you are saying, it's not. But when you are talking of stability, in terms of exchange rate, in terms of inflation is coming down.
The volatility is no longer
volatility. So where do you
a few naira difference, yes, not substantial 200, 300 naira that we other say.
Percentages is smaller, is lower. So you can say it's now stable. Although we must show some level of caution so that we don't become overexcited, then now start making policy on those, because other parameters need to also converge. We have seen relative convergence between what parallel markets and official rates are saying. And that's reserved, that deserves some credit. But the question is, at what line do we have this stability? At 400 or at 1,500? You see the gap between 400 and 1,500 is quantum, is a quantum.
It's a lot.
And that gap means there are people whose capacity can afford 400 but cannot afford 1,500. That is why Nigeria, when you map that times the number of people, because economy is a cost of number at the end of the day. When you look at people that have been left out between 400 to 1,500, multiplied with number, it tells you the quantum level of people that might have been left out. So what we should look at as policies, how do we lead this, how do we turn this stability to growth, and how do we make this growth inclusive?
So now, the other question I would like to ask you, which for me, because I'll come to whether our revenue target, as the president said, is being met, is also something that is substantial and that probably will reflect the new hope agenda, because when this good news, and I don't capitalize on the bad news. I love the good news and I capitalize on them. But look, you need to find the value of the good news in relativity to the average living of the Nigerian people. So the question I'm going to ask next is, have we been able to vary our economy in terms of the focus of it? No, we are a mono economy. Our economy basically relied on the oil sector. Has anything changed in the last 2 years?
I think so. I think so, because even though the numbers are not yet released, but when you listen to what the president said, I listened to it almost 10 times. He said most of the revenue came from non-oil sector. For me,
that's good news.
That's a big deal. That's a
it's showing
changer.
Production.
Yes. So
and
what he's
I'm
saying,
hearing now that manufacturing is contributing a lot.
Exactly.
And that's good news.
So that's also good news. Now, we now need to see, when the report comes out, manufacturer will now speak. Either we are going to the factory to check, or we are pulling opinion, whatever method we use. Is this really reflecting? It will be too hasty to say that that statement is not correct, that statement is doctored, that statement is political because of the environment where it's said. I think it will be in a haste to judge. What we'll have is that we have good news that have been mentioned by Mr. President. He has said that revenue target is met. He has also said that most of this revenue came from non-oil sector. Ask me anytime, any day, I will count that as big news and a big difference for Nigeria. You know that we have not even started implementing the tax reform yet. We have not started implementing. It's in January. So if we have this kind of announcement now, it means that the tax reform might also meet a very good background that we have already created.
Since the revenue and the assurance that the new regime of tax will meet is that we are likely to have a more transparent, rather than the opaque system that we operate. And we've seen ingenuity. That guy at FRS, very a genius, first class. Zach.
He finished from Ife, actually from Ife. So I'm not surprised.
You guys should have come to University of Ilorin.
No, it's great Ife. I'm sure you're. Please
used to be.
Don't go into that, because
never my dream.
Your viewer.
Never my dream.
No. I know it's the school you didn't get that you went to Ilorin, so it's fine. No.
Do you know what we say in University of Ilorin? Better by far. I bagged 2 degrees from there, and you could see.
I understand. understand it. I know University of Ilorin is better, but it's not the best. We are talking of the best university.
Dr.
Well, whether we'll go back.
We'll go on a break. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back to show whether the revenue announcement as made by the president is going to impact positively on the monies in your pocket, the food on your table. That's my concern right here. Oh, of course, is President Tinubu also towing into what Peter Obi is saying, from consumption to production? Are we producing more in the last 2 years? We'll be hearing this. But there is bad news.
End-of-year sales is on. Doors are more than entryways, they are guardians. At Swiss Street Doors, we don't just build doors, we make grand entrances. From the timeless elegance to the unmatched strength of our historical doors, our pivot security doors, our exclusive doors, and our Irish galvanized steel doors, to the water-resistant of our internal doors, don't miss your chance to save big. Come and enjoy our 50% combo discount offer now. Swiss Street Doors, your door, your proud.
Every great future begins with a spark, a moment of vision, a step toward purpose. At Thomas Adewumi University, we lead the way, shaping minds, inspiring progress. From medicine to media, engineering to entrepreneurship, we push boundaries and shape the future. Our Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery program, MBBS, stands at the forefront, training compassionate, world-class doctors ready to heal and lead. At TAU, learning extends far beyond the classroom. Creativity flourishes, teamwork drives progress, and real-world experience sets the standard for success. We are more than a university. We are a launchpad for innovation, healing, and transformation. This is Thomas Adewumi University, Okwirisi, Kwara State, where your purpose meets possibility.
And cable. Great quality. Now with the new look.
So much, everyone. Not a good one. After the break, it looks like there is a big conspiracy around there. There are a lot of people who went to a university situated in the center of a village in Ife. And there's been, I didn't know that there are a lot of them around here. But those of us who stand out from better universities, let's continue the conversation. Dr. Olaje, I would like us to conclude this conversation around the future of this country. In terms of, yes, we're seeing some good news. Whether or not Nigerians should be hopeful. Are we producing more? Does the number tell us that we're producing more, especially based on what the president said?
Yeah, first of all, I will always stand to say that Nigeria should hope for the best. I will never give up on Nigeria. Why? Because I'm here. I'm even here. I don't have any other passport, so it would be foolish of my person to say that, oh, this country will be doomed, it will not be good for the country. If not, I have options. I could have left the country the way many people have abandoned the country, hoping that another person will fix it. So let's be here. If there are issues, we discuss it. Now, are we producing more? I don't think we are producing enough. But this is what I think we need to do. Urban poor is over 75%. What does that mean? When you put 4 people together, 3 of them are living below poverty line. That's not my figure. It's according to World Bank. 63%.
It's 31 million people are now being affected by the inflation.
Yes,
more,
more in addition.
Yeah,
then
and there are more people now that have been thrown into poverty in the last 2 years.
Exactly, and this is the time we have the fastest number of people join the poverty bracket in our recent history. Why? Because inflation has been stubborn, has been perpetually. The central bank is doing a lot to raise NPR to combat inflation.
There are two people I don't pity. I don't envy them at all. If I were Wale Edun, I don't know if I'm going to take that job. The man walked into problem. Yemi Cardoso, he walked into the toughest and the dirtiest environment.
Yeah, but I think recently he's trying. I must say, you know, I've been very hard on the two institutions. Yeah. But I think the central bank is making some very good policy. This time, I only hope that some of those policies will be sustained. For instance, relaxing NPR shouldn't be now. We may need to wait a bit more, especially because some of the inflation number we are seeing, they are outliers. I didn't say they are lies. I'm saying they are outliers because they are two different things. So we need to wait to have a full year cycle, which is what I said the first time, before we can consider easing the rate or not.
My question is whether Jumoke is doing a good job at trade, because whether the FDI is improving, we need to bring a lot of attention, reduce our import dependency, and also ensure that our exportation increases. Let us put some value. I love to see the figures, have conversation with Jumoke to let us know what exactly are we, in terms of the FX that we're exchanging, what our, and I mean, I'm hearing that even our numbers is good against our exchange with the United States, for example, our trade exchange with the United States. But the big question here, we're going into a very interesting election year, 2020. It started earlier than any election year. And don't forget, go and look at history. Every election year has impacted negatively on our economy.
Yeah. So
from 2011, for example, 2015, I think 2015 it was even worse. After those elections, our economy were badly hit.
So here is it. Even the danger starts more with the pre-election year. Behavior of politicians will determine whether we are going to have another great 4 years or another horrible 4 years. And this is what I want President Tinubu to do. Warn politicians, all inclusive, from federal to local government, no exchange of foreign currency to delegate or for whatever. Because if we do this, the little sign of positivity that we are seeing will evaporate overnight, honestly. Because when anything happens to exchange rate, don't believe me, believe the Bureau of Statistics, 80% of all imports are all, final goods, 80% of all final goods are imported to Nigeria. When you make exchange rate scarce because we are using it for elections, I tell you, people might tell you that things will be better soon. Look at how long it has taken us. From 2015, we are beginning to see some little sign of a difference. I hope, because we still have a long way to go. Before this impact people, which is what many people might be asking me on X, that when do you think? At least if it continue like this, you might start seeing some changes in 3 to 4 years, provided that 2027 elections, starting with next year, there are not too much or there are no distribution of foreign currency. But if we do, and you start seeing it on our stadium, you are seeing people exchanging money, I'm sorry, the economy may go back to where it is that we are
God
praying.
Forbid it does.
But God forbid. That is why we are giving, ahead. Notice that. So that you don't say that, oh, how did you just get it overnight?
Paul Alaje, thank you so much indeed. But the biggest warning here is that things get bad quickly. And it gets better so slowly, sluggishly. So we need to be warned. And politicians need to be careful. Thanks so much, Dr. Paul Alaje. I appreciate it. Well, that's our show tonight. Everyone, many thanks for watching.
There is a global waste crisis, but the good news is it's never too late to